They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and then twisted together a crown of thorns and rammed it on his head. They mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" After they had beaten him, they led him away to crucify him. As the soldiers led him away, they grabbed a man named Simon from the crowd and made him carry the cross because Jesus had been beaten so badly he was too weak to do so. When they nailed Jesus on the cross, the Jewish leaders among the crowd sneered at Jesus, saying, "If you are so wonderful and King of the Jews, save yourself." Jesus prayed to God, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." 2 thieves were being crucified at the same time, one to the left and one to the right. One of the criminals hurled insults at Jesus, saying, "Aren't you the Christ? Why don't you save yourself and us too?" But the other thief disagreed with him and said, "Aren't you afraid of God since you are under the same sentence? We are being punished because we did wrong, but this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said to Jesus, "Remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus told him, "I tell you the truth, today you will be with me in heaven." This happened about 12 noon, and from then until 3 p.m. it was dark because the sun did not shine. At 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, my God, why have you left me?" Then Jesus cried out again, "It is finished." A Roman centurion saw how Jesus died and said, "Surely this was the Son of God." Because the next day was the Sabbath, the Jews did not want the bodies left on the crosses. Later, an important Jewish council member named Joseph asked Pilate for Jesus' body and wrapped it in strips of cloth. Near the place where Jesus was crucified, there was a garden that Joseph owned, and in the garden was a tomb that no one else had ever used. So they buried Jesus in the tomb. The Romans put their best guards at the tomb and had a massive stone rolled in front of it to stop Jesus' followers from stealing the body and saying that he had come back to life. Early on Sunday morning, Mary Magdalene, one of Jesus' followers, and some other women went to the tomb to put spices on the body to stop it from smelling. When they got to the tomb, they discovered that the stone had been rolled away from the entrance. They wondered what had happened, and suddenly 2 angels dressed in white robes that glowed appeared in the tomb. The women were very frightened, but the angels said,
"Don't be afraid. Know Jesus is here. He's come back to life just like he said he would. Now I already tell the disciples they will be doing guilty."
The women left the tomb and went to tell the other disciples about what had happened. Mary stayed at the tomb and was sad and crying. When she turned away from the tomb and saw Jesus there, she didn't know it was Jesus. "Why are you crying? Who are you looking for?" Jesus asked her. She thought it was the gardener, so she said to him, "If you took Jesus' body away, please tell me where he is so I can go and see him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned to look at him and saw that it was Jesus. She went to hug him, but he said, "Don't hold on to me because I have not yet gone back to heaven. But go and tell my disciples that I am going back to heaven." So Mary went and told the disciples what had happened and that she had seen Jesus alive.
Amen.